In this lecture, we will talk about for-of loop. In the previous few lectures, we learned 4 types of loops. But there is one more loop added in the ECMAScript 6, which is for-of loop. In latest version of JavaScript, we have 5 types of loops: while loop, do-while loop, for loop, for-in loop, and for-of loop. Now, in this lecture, we will learn for-of loop. For-of loop is just like a for-in loop, but this only works on iterable object. For-of loop is new in ECMAScript 6, and for-of loop provides another way to loop over the element in the collection. For-of loop generally used to iterate over an array, an object, type array, map, set, string, and other iterable objects. Following is the syntax of for-of loop. So for-of loop starts with the for keyword, with the parenthesis, and specify variable with of keyword and the object. And then we specify the statement which we wanted to execute. The for-of loop can be used on array, but more generally you can use it on any object that is iterable. So now here is the example of for-of loop. So we'll start with the array. So we'll declare array. So we'll say let array, which is array, is equal to, and in the square bracket I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 elements in the array. Then we declare for-of loop with the for keyword, and in the parenthesis I will say let value of array in the compound statement I will say console.log and print value. So I will specify value variable here. So when you execute this statement, you will get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the console. For-of loop will loop over each array element and print on the console. As I said, for-of loop work like a for-in loop, but there is a little difference between for-of loop and for-in loop. Suppose if I have changed the for-of loop into for-in loop, then what would be the output? So the output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for-in loop will not print the element on the console. Instead, it will print index number of an array. So the output you are seeing right now is index number of an array element. I will just change this for-in loop in for-of loop, right? Using for-of loop, you can also print string characters. So suppose you have a string tuition, so I will declare a string here. Let str is equal to, in the double quote I will say tuition, and end this statement with the semicolon. Now you need to specify the string in the for-of loop. So I will just remove the array object and specify the string here. When you execute this code, for-of loop will separate each character and print on the console. As I said before, string is just a collection of characters. So for-of loop will just print that character on the console. Just simple as that. For-of loop is the best choice when you don't know the index number of an array. But if you know the index number of the array, then you can use for loop also. The difference between for-in loop and for-of loop is for-in loop over enumerable properties, and for-of loop does use an iterable object and loop over generated values. So the benefit of for-of loop is you can change the iterable element. So using for-of loop, you will get the index value on the console, not the index number. Suppose I increase the value of the array element by 1. When you execute this statement, you will get a different output. Now in this object, you will see 1 is added in the element. So this will increase the value of the array element by 1 using for of loop. If you know the concept of for loop, then this topic will not really hard to understand. That's it. I hope you understand for of loop well.